Thank you for visiting SEPS Graphics booth. I'm Cheryl Ray, and today I'm going to give you an overview of some of the most popular and profitable production techniques. SEPS emphasizes personal attention, free tech support, and timely response to your questions and comments during the decision making and after the sale. Today I will show you a new way to improve your company's profitability with a finished product that will separate your company from your competitors. As you know, adding new products and services is the best way to grow a company. Adding rhinestones to your customized designs is the hottest trend in garment decorating. This video will go through the basic steps of adding rhinestone decorations to your sublimated garments. If you have a vinyl cutter, we can email you test files of a rhinestone pattern to see if it will work with your cutter and your existing cutter software. Please call or email me if you have any questions or comments. Enjoy the show.
Hello, today we're going to give you a basic overview of combining sublimation and rhinestone decoration to your garments. First, we'll start off with our design for the sublimation portion, and in this case we're designing it in Corel. Now, one thing that you want to remember is that when you get ready to print this onto your sublimation paper, to set it in your print settings to be a mirror image so that when you press it, it will be right facing on your shirt. Now here we're showing it printing on the printer. One note that you want to make is that when you are printing on sublimation paper, make sure that you are printing or loading it in so that you will be printing on the bright white side. There is one side that's not quite as white and the other that's a bright white. When this finishes, you'll see that it will be in mirror format. Okay, now we're ready to press your design onto a preheated heat press at 400 degrees. You want to place the design face down on the shirt. Then we're going to place heat tape on each side, and what that does is prevent the paper from lifting up when you raise the heat press up after it's done. Next, you want to put two just plain pieces of paper on top, and that just prevents the ink from coming through and getting on your heat press. Now we're going to press it at 400 degrees for 90 seconds. Whenever the press is complete, you want to just lift up the spare paper. Now just in one piece, just lift up your transfer, and there you have it. Your sublimation is complete. Now we're going to move on to the rhinestone portion of our design. What you see here is the design in iDesign Pro software, which is available from SEPS Graphics. What we have here on the bottom portion of the screen is the vector portion of the design of the eagle that we want to have rhinestones placed on. And what you see at the top of the screen is iDesign Pro has placed the black and the gold rhinestones on the lines for us. Now, once we have finished the design, we are ready to send it to our cutter. Here we have a Graphtec cutter from SEPS Graphics, and what we will do next is we will place the sticky flock material into the cutter. Then once you send the file over, it will begin to cut the circles that will become the holes for the rhinestones when we set up our template. Now that our sticky flock has finished cutting, we need to weed away the part that is to be removed for the rhinestones to be placed in. As you can see, we place it on a piece of plexiglass, and you want to take your scraper, just go over the top of it to get the holes to stick, pull it off, and now your transfer is ready. Now you will need a transfer for every size stone and every color that you have in your design. So in this one we have two colors, so we will have two templates, one for one color, one for the other. And again, you place it in the part of the design that needs to go away, stays there, and the rest is ready for your template. Now that we've completed weeding of our templates, we'll move over to our sticky flock station with our first transfer, which is the first color of our design, and we pour our rhinestones on, and with our rhinestone brush, just brush the stones into the holes using a little circular motion, and they will fall into the holes right side up. Once you have all the holes filled, you just want to brush away any extra rhinestones that you have. Now we're ready to use our transfer tape. This is the means that we use to get the rhinestones from the transfer template to our shirts, and whenever you have multiple colors, you can use this station by placing it over the first color stones that you have. Just kind of rub on the top so that they will stick to the transfer tape. Then what you want to do is pull that back so that you can place your second transfer template in for the second color. Okay, now that we have our first color of stones placed on the transfer tape, now we take our second transfer template and just line it up on top, and when you make your transfers you will have the same outline so that when you line these up they will match up perfectly with your design. So now you're ready to place your second color of stones. So you pour those on and repeat the process in a circular motion, having the stones fall into the holes, and then brush away any excess. Okay, now we're ready to place our second set of stones onto the transfer tape, and you'll notice that when we did the first color we didn't completely remove the transfer tape. We left it anchored on the side, and here's why. You can lay that down and it will perfectly line up with the first set of stones. Now what we'll do is pull that up and place the backing on the transfer tape, and then we'll be ready to move over to the shirt on the heat press. Okay, now we're at the heat press. We have preheated it to 350 degrees. Now you will remove the rhinestone transfer. Now we're going to place it on top of our shirt that we have previously pressed with the sublimation design. And you just want to line up the rhinestone transfer where you'd like it on your design. Okay, now that we've got the design where we want it, we will place a sheet of Teflon on top. Then we will press the shirt at 350 degrees for 20 seconds. When that press time is complete, remove the Teflon sheet, and then we will remove the transfer tape from the design. And there you have it. Sublimation with rhinestone design.